Hello, BookTube. As longtime viewers of this channel will know, and as newcomers may not know, there are rules here. This is not just a free-for-all. And rule number one on this channel is don't send Steve a book. I know it seems natural. I talk about books all day long. I write about books all day long. I have 1,000 books all around me, but the chances of you sending me a book that I will like and will want are virtually nil. Millions of books have passed through my hands in my 28 years. Millions of them. And I've largely closed my hands on the ones I want. But there are ways around rule number one. There are two main ways around rule number one. If you really, really want me to have books, there are two ways around that. As you know, if you look at this channel, I don't have an Amazon wish list. Do anything like that. My Amazon wish list goes out to publicists who will send me those books. It doesn't go out to people I'm expecting to buy them for me. But one of the two ways around rule number one is to call the Brattle Bookshop here in Boston. Not the Brattle Theater, but the Brattle Bookshop. And just swear out an amount of store credit. You're welcome to do that at any time. Chances are that depending on who you get on the phone, all you'll need to say is, I want to give Steve some credit. You won't even need to identify what Steve you mean. And you know for sure that Brattle credit will get used. And that you will see the results of that credit because I film my Brattle book hauls. When I go to the shop, I film what I haul from there. But the other way to get me books is to vet them ahead of time. Now, I know this grates against a lot of you who really like the idea of surprise, but trust me, opening a package that contains my 157th copy of David McCullough's John Adams biography is an unpleasant surprise. It's an unpleasant surprise. It's a good standing assumption on this channel that if you encounter a book, I at least have heard about it. In fact, it's one of the, in a funny kind of way, not a gatekeepy kind of way, not a mean-spirited kind of way, but in a funny kind of way, many people over the course of years have pointed out that that's an easy way to spot a newcomer to my channel, is that someone will say, oh, if you like this book, you might try this. And it'll be a book that I've mentioned many times on this channel that I'm blurbed on the back of or something like that. That's it. It's charming, and I don't object to it at all, but you should assume it. You should assume that I know about the book you're thinking about. So you can't do the surprise route. There are only a couple of people on the planet who could do that, who could walk into the Strand bookstore, find a book on the shelf, and think not only does he not have that, but he will want that. And you aren't one of those two people. The other way around rule number one is to vet your choices ahead of time. Say, hey, can I send you this book? And one of you did. One of you did that just recently. I squealed all over the email. I squealed all over the pictures. There were plenty of things that I wanted. And that person very kindly, if you're watching, thank you so much. I will find your email and thank you privately. But that person very kindly boxed all those books up and sent them to me. And they arrived just when I need to pick me up the most. So we're going to rip open this box. It's big. And we're going to see what's in here. Because honestly, there were a lot of books in those pictures, and I'm not sure that I remember them at all. In fact, I don't think I remember any of them. Now, I think there was some vintage romance. Remember, you young people, always have scissors nearby because you're always going to need them, and you're not going to have them unless they're nearby. But always stop what you're doing, no matter how eager you are, and put the scissors back where you found them. Put them back where they go. Don't leave them out and about. You will step on them, or your dog will step on them. So let's see. Let's see what's in here. This just could not have come at a better time. So I'm in need of a pick-me-up. Oh, they're individually wrapped. Oh, how interesting. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and also, even if I did accurately remember what was in those pictures, I believe the sender said that they were going to send other things too. And I was so happy with the massive amount of stuff that I gave them permission to literally to break rule number one. So let's see what we have here. Okay. All right. Great. We have. Oh no. Oh no. All right. This is Roberta Gellis. She's really, really good. This is a romance novel called Dazzling Brightness. And a long time in the heat of an attic or in the damp of a basement or whatever has melded the adhesive of this sticker to the step back, which means that you are destroying the step back when you pull the cover open like that. So you're seeing some of the artwork, but the most important part of the artwork, the bulging pecs, they're gone forever. I imagine that if I were to look around online, I could probably find a picture of what the step back looked like here, but I know I like the author. Then we have a big, thick thing. This is Marcia Cannon, The Wind and the Sea. Big, thick romance novel. What is this? She was the daughter of Duncan Farrow, the fiercest corsair of the Barbary coast. Born into the French aristocracy, raised as a pirate, beautiful Courtney de Villiers, Farrow could fight as hard, swear as well, and outwit most men. But now her father was gone, killed by the Yankees. Courtney was left to fight a losing battle with the American ship the Eagle, commanded by First Lieutenant Adrian Ballantyne. And I bet they're going to fall in love, although she is not the foremost pirate of the Barbary coast, unless she's a man and a Berber. But, oh, look at this. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is one of these old 25-cent westerns. This is by Alan LeMay, and it is Gunsight Trail. Look at that. I'm no great expert on firearms, but I want to warn you. If you right angle twist your wrist around a tree and pull the trigger like that, you're going to break your hand. But maybe he's made of sterner stuff. And here's another Western. Oh, wow. This is by Robert Hogan, and it's called Challenge of Smoke Wade. Something has happened here on this cover. I don't know what it is, but something has happened. It's just another cheap old Western paperback right at the end of June on the Range. Wow, what is this? Oh, this is by Glenn Haley. I don't know any of these authors. This is Rustler's Odds. But the big thing on the cover is a fighting Western novel. And that's the branding on the back. All this is just a fighting Western novel. And this is a different size, either than these smaller 35-cent paperbacks or than a normal mass market paperback. This is like a digest of some kind. Know nothing about it at all. I'm assuming that if it is a digest, this is the name of the digest. I'm going to have to look this up. Although, unless you are Mongo, you're going to lose this fight right here. And then, oh, fantastic. This is the great Joanna Lindsay, who actually ushered me into romances. This is Tender is the Storm. A very salacious cover for the time. Fantastic. So you've got a paperback Booksmith price tag on there. That will come off. So that's good. It's a shame about the Roberta Gellis. I would have liked that step back to be preserved, but that's okay, because I've got a box of books here, so I'm hardly in a position to complain. Oh, okay, this is a Harlequin intrigue novel. This is Cynthia Eden's book Hunted, which I think I have an ebook of this, but definitely not a mass market paperback. Fantastic. Is this another Harlequin? Yes, it is. Oh my. This is also for June on the Range. This is Beth Corneliuson. This is Rancher's High Stakes Rescue. Look at that. Where could they possibly be with cliffs like that? Is this another Harlequin? Oh my, it is. This is a Harlequin Historical, Secretly Bound to the Marquis, by Diane Gaston. This looks really good. Widowed Lady Eliza Varden must endure one more ball before she can politely return to the country. Only her last dance brings her face to face with Nathaniel, the new Marquis of Hale. It's been years since their steamy encounter, but the spark between them is as alive as ever. Okay. All right, fantastic. I'm generally a big fan of Harlequin Historical. Let's just keep going here and see. This is like Christmas morning for a bookworm. Oh, another June on the Range book, but I don't have many days left to do June on the Range. This is Woman of the Frontier by Zane Grey. Another fairly hefty Western. All these things have tags on them of one kind or another from all their various way stations along the way. I will get rid of all of those. Okay, here's another thing that would work really well for June on the Range. This is another Harlequin historical, but you'll see right away that the appearance is quite different. This is, up until just recently, the modern Harlequin historicals. This is the older ones. And one great way, this is a painting, of course, this is a drawing, not a photograph. But another great way you can distinguish these old Harlequin historicals is that they have secondary artwork. These were series romances. These came 4 in a batch every month. The idea that they were putting the extra money in to give these secondary artwork is amazing to me. It was at the time, even when I didn't care for them. Sarah and the Rogue by Dolores Scott. How many times did Dolores Scott have to tell people that her name ends in AS, not ES? God, that must have been a lifetime thing to do. And then one more in this all these little sub-packages. Oh, it's a Harlequin romance. Okay, this is Harlequin Presents. Sarah Morgan, Defying the Prince. Look at that. And these are like time capsules, because you can see how the presentation style, the livery on all these things changes over time. All right, let's keep going here. Let's open up this next batch. See what we have. This is so much fun. And these are, oh yes, okay, this is another Joanna Lindsay. The sender of these books, now I remember, the sender of these books said it's a great relief to be sending them to someone who, A, I know will read them and enjoy them, and B, doesn't care at all about the shape they're in. And that's true. This is a pirate's love. Another design for Joanna Lindsay, not the same design. This was, I think, earlier than this design. And this thing obviously has been read and loved, and I love that about it. I don't hate that at all. So I've got 2 Joanna Lindsays here. That is great. Oh, it's another Harlequin historical. Anina Beaumont, Promises to Keep, with step back artwork. No, it doesn't. This one doesn't. See, because we're getting all different time periods of these things. This doesn't have step back artwork, but it does have a wraparound cover. So that's interesting. I remember these eras from when I was selling these things in bookstores. It's another Harlequin historical. June Lund Shiplet. I do not know that author at all. This is Boston Renegade. That's me. This, once again, does not have a step back. It has a wraparound cover. Is that Western stuff on the back? Yes, it is. Good Lord. The Untamed West. This could also be... maybe it's about a Boston bluestocking who goes through the Old West. Let's see. Let's keep going here. How much fun is this? Good Lord, I needed this. I really did. Okay, this is... Oh, great. Okay, this is The Fallon Pride by Regan O'Neill. This is book 2 of the Fallon Chronicles. This kind of thing, the Family Chronicles, was really big in the wake of John Jakes' Kent Family Chronicles. Really big. I don't think I remember Fallon Pride, and I wonder how... The question with these things is always, can you jump in on book 2? I don't know if I can. I don't know if book 1's going to be in here. Oh, fantastic. Oh, my. All right, we'll talk about Boston Renegade. This is a romance novel called The Last Waltz by Nancy Zaroulis. Now, this has a step back as well. Lovely, ornate thing. I don't know how many of you will know this name. You certainly will not associate her with romance novels. She wrote a really good book about the mill girls of Lowell, Massachusetts, who were once upon a time called Mill Lovelies, called Call the Darkness Light. That book was really, really enjoyable. And then she wrote a great, big historical novel called Massachusetts that is remarkably good. But I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe that romance was her break-in. It could be that The Last Waltz was her first book. Wow, fantastic. All right, fantastic. I don't think I've read The Last Waltz, but if I have, it's been so long that I will effectively not remember. Let's see, let's keep going. We have a lot more books to go through here. Okay, this next one is Heather Graham, who all of you romance readers will know, but you certainly won't know this book. This is Golden Surrender. Look at that for Heather Graham cover artwork. Good Lord. Is this the Old West as well? No, this is Prince Olaf of Norway. This is almost Viking era for Heather Graham. Okay, then we have another Joanna Lindsay. Fantastic. This is Prisoner of My Desire. And this is yet another. So we now have 3 different Joanna Lindsay cover designs. I remember this cover design looks very bland, and then you've got the lavish step back there with this particular artist. Does this particular artist sign their work? This artist had work absolutely everywhere in the romance genre. For a good 5 or 6 years, this art was everywhere. I wonder if this is going to tell me who did the cover artwork. Al Pisano. Al Pisano did very well by romance novels with illustrations like that. Let's see. What's the next one in this batch? Oh, Cynthia Wright. Oh, this is a historical romance. A Battle for Love. There we have Anachronistic Armor, so this must be set in the distant past, yes? A beautiful French widow, pawn in a royal scheme involving England's King Henry VIII. Oh, okay. All right, so roughly Tudor-era romance. Oh, right, of course. This is by Marilyn Harris. This is Hatter Fox. This is not quite the same thing as the others. This is not actually a romance novel. This had some critical acclaim when it came out. Including a blurb, the only blurb on the back for the Christian Science Monitor. I swear that's not me. Although, was I reviewing books when Hatter Fox came out? Was I? Yes, I was. A 17-year-old Navajo Indian girl whom we first meet in jail in New Mexico about to knife the prison doctor. From this shocker opening, we are instantly propelled into the intense, disturbed world that Hatter inhabits. And this was praised. I wonder if this thing has more. Yeah, okay. Blurb of praise from the Boston Globe. I swear that was not me either. And also Publishers Weekly. And Literary Guild magazine. I don't know that Literary Guild magazine exists anymore. They were once upon a time a really good indicator of quality. If you could find a place that sold the Literary Guild magazine, or if you could get it from insider industry levels, the Literary Guild magazine was often quite good for assessing books. I'll have to check and see if they still exist. They probably don't. Let's see here. Okay, then we have another fervent romance from the 70s, I'm assuming, from this cover, 1978. This is Robin Joseph. I don't think I've ever read. And this is Love's Fervent Fury. Lordy. Lordy. All right, so isn't there a throwback romance event out there somewhere? I could swear I remember such a thing. But we're not done. Not by a long shot. So let's just keep going. Oh, great. Okay, this person also showed me another mass-market copy of The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Shirer. These mass-market copies hold up rather well, but even so, I like having doubles. Even though I have the trade paperback and the ebook, I still like having doubles. This is a great book. Absolutely great book. Big, huge. This is what, 1,500 pages? Yeah, 1,500 pages, almost 1,600 pages, but you won't stop reading at all. Oh, okay. All right. This is Joanna Lindsay again. We are back to this era of her books. This is Hearts Aflame. With that particular cover, and that looks to be a Viking vessel in the background, doesn't it? These things all have adhesives and junk all over them, but I will fix them. Kristen Hardrod met the icy fury of her captor's crystal green gaze with defiance. She was the prisoner of Royce of Windhurst, but his slave she'd never be. This powerful Saxon lord had at last met his match in the Viking beauty, his equal in pride, in strength, and in fierce, hot hunger of insatiable desire. They're also easy on the eyes, both of them. Let's see. What is this next one here? Let's get the wrapping off here. Oh, okay. This is Edward Ayers. This is In the Presence of Mine Enemies, the Civil War in the Heart of America. So, not in the South. This thing came out, it's got stickers all over it. This thing came out a while ago in I want to say the early 2000s, 2003, and it's covered in blurbs. None by me, I don't think. Let me double check just to make sure. No, none by me, but this is really, really good, and I am drifting closer and closer to a rather all-consuming American Civil War reading, so it's good that I have these things. It's good. The more of them I get, the better. But let's move on. Got plenty more to do here. What is this? What is this? Oh, okay. Well, once upon a time, Jason Harrigan was on BookTube, and he would have smiled at this. I'm very happy to have it. This is just absolutely delightful. Boy, this is going in a little book room. It's the only one so far that is. This is The Rule of St. Benedict in an easy little pocket paperback. This is The Rule of St. Benedict is amazing. It is amazing reading, and I don't have a copy. But for some reason, I don't have the Penguin Classic of this, and never have had it. So I'm assuming there is one. Maybe I'm wrong to assume that, but very happy to have that, especially in such a handy format. Then we have New Testament Reading Guide. This series was really more intelligent than it looks. You would think that it's just something you would hand out to parishioners, but it isn't. This is by Carol Struhlmuller, and it's the one they do for the Gospel according to St. Luke, which is my favorite Gospel. So I was very happy to see this. This is going to be a feast to read through, because you get the text and then huge amounts of annotation. Okay, then we have a trade paperback. This is a trade paperback of Max Hastings' book, The Korean War. His one-volume history of the Korean War that is really, really good. I asked the sender if I was blurbed on this book. The sender said no, so I'm assuming not. Oh, good. And maybe I don't want to be, because Richard Nixon is blurbed on this. I'm not sure I want to share a cover with him. I'll share a cover with Tom Stoppard, but not with Richard Nixon. Oh, look at this. Oh, my. Okay. All right. This is Louis L'Amour, so it definitely counts for June on the Range, but this is one of those lush leather-bound things. I don't have any of these. I know a couple of people who have a whole set of this. This is The End of the Drive, which is a Louis L'Amour novel I don't think I've ever read. Wow, just a big sewn binding leather cover like that. How amazing. How amazing. This box just goes on and on. We are slowly but surely reaching the end here. So let's open another batch and see. These were all individually packaged so that they wouldn't be flopping all around inside the box. I appreciate that. Okay, another Louis L'Amour, How the West Was Won. How's that for a cover? Fantastic. All right. I don't know. I can't get to all these Louis L'Amours before June on the Ranges. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Guns of the Timberlands, which I just read and talked about on this channel, but this is in much better condition than the one I have. Fantastic. Great. I'll just swap them out. Oh, right. Okay. This is Joseph DeMona. This is the Benedict Arnold connection. 1970s style airport thriller. Yeah, 1977. I'm assuming, I know that I have seen this probably in actual airports. I don't know that I've ever read it. It'll all come back to me in a minute, but it obviously looks like it deals with a killer tidal wave. Is that true? On July 2nd at 6 p.m., the Atlantic City will vanish into the sea. Well, that's not entirely a tragedy, is it? And so will the Hamptons, ditto, and Ocean City and Cape May. And George Williams' orders came directly from the president. Find the live nuclear warhead buried under 300 feet of ocean somewhere off the Jersey shore, and bring back the brilliant man who put it there. Williams only linked to both an ancient map bearing the code words of Benedict Arnold, the infamous Tory spy. All right, great. Sounds like a candidate for Garb August. Let's see here. What's this next one? Oh my. Oh goodness gracious. All right. Yes, I remember this now. This is Light a Penny Candle by Maeve Binchy with this step back cover there. How wonderful. How wonderful. The Irish Thornbirds. Okay. All right. That Light a Penny Candle was a huge success for her. Huge success. And one interviewer had that mentioned and mentioned it to her, and she agreed. And the interviewer said, "So it was the most thematically powerful?" And she said, "No, it was the most successful. It made me the most money." That young interviewer never mistook that again. That is, of course, the only yardstick of success. Let's see here. Okay, then we have an old war novel, it looks like. The Friendly Dead by T. Grady Gallant. I don't think I know that at all. This is a novel about the Battle of Iwo Jima. And I don't think either one of them is going to survive. They're both shooting at each other at point-blank range. No way to miss. Okay. Oh, no, this isn't a novel at all. This is an actual account of Iwo Jima. I think. I'm seeing a little bit of dialogue, but maybe he reconstituted it. Okay, great. I haven't read it, so let's see what this next one is. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Are we going back to the 70s again? Yes, 1969. Yeah, but it came out in this paperback in 1970. Close enough. This is by Edwin Gilbert, and this is called Jamie. It also is not a vintage romance. Instead, it is. This got reviewed. Yeah, the New York Times, Saturday Review, Publishers Weekly. But that wasn't me. I promise that wasn't me. Jamie is a rock superstar, hip, wild, bittersweet. He's hard-loving, fast-traveling, gone looking for the USA with Poppy. She's his, she's cool, and when she's down, she's anybody's woman. Up on grass, bawling, getting stomped and busted, a major novel of young American experience. I think I read this. Once upon a time, I think I read this. I'll gladly read it again. Gladly, and be embarrassed all over again. Let's see. Then we're down to this last batch. So this is a lot. This is more than I can do in a Steve Pyramid. This is going to keep me busy all weekend. What is in this last batch of books? Another Louis L'Amour. Night Over the Solomons. So not a Western. Great. Great. Because I've read a lot of Louis L'Amour for June on the Range, and I want to keep reading him. But it feels kind of wrong to read a Western when it's not June on the Range. Okay. Last of the Breed. Another non-Western by Louis L'Amour. Terrific with this, the signature cover. And then another Louis L'Amour. Boy, this is lovely. Valley of the Sun. Look at that. Look at that. Fantastic. And then the last 3 books here for an epic gift in the mail. Just epic. What are the last 3 here? Oh my, okay, all right. This is also a Louis L'Amour that is not a Western. Wow, I've never seen this cover. This is Fair Blows the Wind by Louis L'Amour. Terrific. So I've got 3 Louis L'Amour here that I can read even outside of June on the Range. Then a Western, Jack Ballas, Bandido Caballero. Do any of you know this author? I've read a lot of Westerns in the last 2 or 3 years, but I don't think I've ever come across this author. Once a rebel spy, Tom Fallon was spared the firing squad when the President of the United States needed his help. Well, we've all been there. Okay. All right. Jack Ballas. Oh, look at this. Okay, the last book is another one. The Hard Land. Another Jack Ballas novel. Is this obviously he's a Western author, but is he good? Do any of you know this author? Looks like he's written a few books. Interesting. Okay, from the 90s. I should have seen these then in the bookstore. Well, anyway, there you go. We'll end with a double dose of Westerns, but a whole bunch of other stuff too. Good Lord. Good Lord. Fantastic. This put a smile on my face. So I will find the sender if you're not watching. If you're watching, thank you so much. But I will find you and say that these books arrived all safe and sound. I need to go through them all, clean them up with a moist cloth, get all the stickers off them, and then see what I want to read first. Although June on the Range still has legs on it, I think I probably want to read this tonight. And maybe close out June on the Range with it. But there's so much to choose from here. So there you go. That is an unexpected, a wonderful violation of rule number 1. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.